Hello and welcome to this channel. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with the today's Hindu editorial analysis. So let's have a recap what we are going to cover. First of all, starting the day with the thought of day, Hasif often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. So if you're just facing a lot of hardship in your life, maybe you're struggling a lot, then you are just becoming the best version of yourself, extraordinary. So just keep continuing, keep hustling. So let's have a recap what is going to cover. The front page covering about the US will impose reciprocal tariffs from April 2. Continue to the second page, we will discuss in detail about the tariffs. And the front page also covering the Zelensky is open to peace talk minerals deal, says Trump. Second page is continuing the first article. Third page is covering the article about it's a Cookie Joe body opposes the civil society group March to Hills and retain existing Lok Sabha seats for next 30 years, Tamil Nadu party, and how the deserted sand of Sangam in Prayagraj, which desolate the looks on Wednesday, conclusion of Mahakumbh. Covering the editorial about the over-centralization threatened the federal health policy. Fifth article covering about the DeepSeek markets distribution that must wake in India. Sixth page is about who will apologize to the Himalayans and the warrior of hopes. Here we read about the Ashas. Seventh page covering about the budget will pave a way stronger workforce for Modi. So that's we are going to cover today. Today's editorial within the 30 minutes. So just covering the important details and articles today. An Indian session, not doing so much long. So let's have starting with the front page. Is the how the US is imposing a reciprocal tariff from April 2. So now the US President Donald Trump going to criticize the high tariff charges by India and other countries, terminating as a very unfair, and announce a reciprocal tariff from April 2 that impose a level of American goods. So we will going to implement all the tariffs from April to heavy high tariffs, and who's the to every country, other countries that are implementing the taxes on American products. So here's about what are the India's export to US and what is India's total import from US. Here is the trading numbers. It's about the $15.2 million. In a top export to US is electrical machinery. It's $7.6 billion. Precious stone per metal $6.3 billion. Pharmaceutical 5.9. Here the pharmaceutical we are dealing about that was it will covering in that editorial we'll discuss here. So the Trump made the remarks in the address to the joint session of Congress on Tuesday. It was the first address of his second term in White House. So as a 47th president of US on January. So here is the so there was a about the if you don't make the product in America, the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff cases rather than a large one. So it's against the use of tariff against us for a decades, and now it's turn to start using them. So he also involved the European unions, China, Brazil, India, and Mexico and Canada also. Any other countless other nations charges tremendously or higher tariffs we charge them. So India's tariff is it's very unfair. India charges auto tariffs high than the 100%. It's 100%, and Mr. Trump said his administration would soon impose reciprocal tariffs on countries. India and China will reiterating what he had, and during the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit the US capital last month. So the government is in the middle of talks of bilateral trade agreement. President Donald Trump announcement his administration with a reciprocal tariff. Here the bilateral trade agreement to be finalized this year, and BTA was decided during Prime Minister Narendra Modi visit on Washington on Feb 13. So your countries still face the reciprocal tariffs after April 12 is believed to be disappointed those who government expected Mr. Modi to visit the promise of fair trade terms. Global recent is India's silence on Wednesday. In the contrast, countries such as China, Mexico, Canada, which have already announced their countries reciprocal on US good, China's, and filed a complaint against the WTO against the US measure. While Brazil has not far responded to reciprocal tariff, as its president Lula da Silva had defined Mr. Trump's threat over 100% tariff on BRICS countries and economies to form a seeking alternative dollar dominance. The dollar is already dominating there, so they have to agree with their point of terms. All eyes on the statements coming out from Mr. Goel meeting in Washington for a BTA first phase, and he and US of the official believed to be the number of the areas that tariffs can cut. So according to the joint statement issued on February, India's and the US will be target $500 billion bilateral trade 2030, more than doubling last year. Trade value is last up to $200 billion dollar. Recognizing that this level of ambitions would require a new fair trade and the first tranche of the mutually beneficial multi-sectoral bilateral trade agreement by 2025, indicating that expectation has to deal in the place of September 25. So yes, Zelensky is open to the peace talks, minerals and deals, says. So Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky had written to him that he would appreciate the US support for his country for its war with Russia, and he have to agree their agreements about the extraction of minerals and negotiating the peace deal with the Russia as soon as possible, would accept critical minerals agreement with the US to facilitate. So the Trump remarks after the vice president, who was a major player in the breakdown of the president and Zelensky on Friday, struck on nerve. So the quoting from the letter, Mr. Trump has Zelensky told him that Ukraine is ready to come a negotiating table as soon as possible, and team and is ready to stand the President Trump's strong leadership to peace last. So moving to the next is, it's about the retain existing LS seat for the next 30 years, Tamil Nadu party. So the All India party here chaired by Tamil Nadu government. Here the elections is going to be held in 2026, and now there is a two issue that is mostly arising in the Tamil Nadu states. His CM, that about the 3-language state policy, and second one is about the Delimination Commission, formation of Delimination Commission. So he just urged the centre to retain the existing number of Lok Sabha seats and constitutional boundary for next 30 years. Next 30 years beyond 226. So the Delimination exercises 2001, its 84th Constitution Amendment Act, that the first census after 2026. Meeting also decided to constitute a joint committee with a representative of political parties to all the southern states to create awareness and prevent the reduction of seats. It is unjustifiable to reduce the number of Lok Sabha seats of the south and southern state because they have effectively implemented the population control, and measures of the central state should retain existing. So grave danger, a resolution of the condemned delimitation exercises planned by BJP led the union government political presentation of Tamil Nadu and other southern state. So the Mr. Stalin with the delimitation would result in the undeniable justice to the Tamil Nadu if the Lok Sabha seats were reduced, and the BJP government was not ready to listen ever the voices of 39 MPs. So they have unequally opposed the elimination based on census 2026. So after the census, the Delimination Commission formation, so they are just denying that it should be extended for next 30 years, at least beyond the 2026. Here the Sangam Prayagraj, after the conclusion of the Mahakumbh, all places just get vacant, it's empty, and there is just a desolate look here clicked by in today's Hindu news. So there is a silence at a Sangam. So Kuki-Zo body opposes a civil society group march to hills. So the proposed march to hill district by an Imphal Valley based civil society organization, March 8, has been opposed. Kuki-Zo, Manipur sacred by the conflict between the non-tribal Meitei and tribal Kuki-Zo since May 2023, And on March 4, the Federation of a Civil Society Organization FOCS in Manipur's capital Imphal announced the peace expeditions on the hill to the hills on March 8. It is followed the Union Home Minister Amit Shah directing the 3 days to go allow an unrestricted movement in a road linking the Imphal to the rest of. So the peace to buffer zone. So FOCS president basically is the Federation of Civil Society Organization president T.H. Mani said the objective of the expedition was to deliver the messages of the peace to the buffer zones on the periphery of Imphal Valley and the hill villages that has remained largely inaccessible since the ethnic violence broke out 22 months ago. And FOCS comprises the 20 groups after discussion the Home Minister Amit Shah. So the Manipur is inhabited by 3 major communities. The Maitis dominate Imphal Valley almost at the center of state, while the Kuki, Zos and Nagas share the hills. So three community that is most dominating there. So majority community the Maitis dominates there, and other communities live in the hill areas. So editorial is about over centralization and threatened the federal health policy. So the today editorial will covering the centralization, how centralization threatened the federal health policy. So there was already this article already is discussion here about the domicile in the post graduation programs and not in undergraduates. So the recent Supreme Court judgments is Dr. Thanvi Bail versus Shreya Goyal. Shared that which struck down the domicile-based reservation in postgraduate medical admission in respective medical colleges in state, marks a significant shift in India's medical education policy. So the ruling holding that such reservation violated Article 40. Article 40 of a constitution dismantled the mechanism of the states having long relied on ensure stable medical workforce suited to the public health needs while upholding the meritocracy. It misapprehends the complex relationship between medical education policies, center public health planning, and entrenching the framework. So, domicile quotas in state health planning. So, domicile based reservation in postgraduate medical course in crucial function and aligning the state. Here, the three writers just describe this article. It's about the states allocate substantial resources to train medical students, expecting that these graduates will contribute to local healthcare system. Given chronic specialist shortage, domicile quotas ensure a predictable supply of doctors familiar with their state healthcare landscape. The court reliance, the Pradeep Jain versus Union of India. To eliminate the domicile-based postgraduate reservation overlooks the essential distinction between undergraduate and postgraduate education. So unlike MBBS program where a student gained foundational knowledge, postgraduate courses are primarily channeled through which state replenish their specialist workforce. Removing domicile quotas disturbed the pipelines and making a state becoming increasingly reliant on external recruitment, a process fraud that will unpredictably and inefficiencies. So by striking down the domicile quotas, the judgment weakens the incentive for states to invest in medical education. And a well-functioning system, competitive federalism encourages the state to develop a robust limitation. Without domicile, medical education diminishes. So without domicile reservation, states may deprioritize medical colleges funding, leading to declining infrastructure, worsening regional healthcare disparities. So stand in contrast to premier central institutions such as All India Institute. So it all burden goes to All India AIIMS and the postgraduate medical education research PGIMER, Jawaharlal Nehru Postgraduate Medical Education JIPMER, Jawaharlal Institute of Postgraduate Medical Education and Research. So which has granted the selection autonomy state medical colleges, arguably even more vital to India's public health architecture, now denied a similar progressive disadvantage. So Article 21 of Indian Constitution guarantees the right to life, including It's including the access to adequate health care. Public health remains here solely a center. So the broader system is based approach. Broader system is based approach. Life, public health, medical education, giving a sustaining to the public health, it is essential autonomy for selection process, reinforcing these institutions are greater. So fallout of absolute meritocracy is that in quote consistent of a rigid meritocracy its meritocratic framework, ignore the structural inequalities inherent of the India's medical enhanced system and a test postgraduate NEET PG result reveal significant flaws in how merit is assessed, including the assistant in the candidate with a negative marking. So the recent example of 2023 saw a national medical commission formatted follow the directive principles from the Ministry of Health and reduced the qualifying percentile of NEET PG and super specialty examination to 0 to fill a vacant seats. So if undergraduate admission recognizes regional and socio-economic disparities, there is a little justification for excluding such consideration from postgraduate admission. Further, the judgment perpetuates the narrow conceptions. So merit that disgrades the social contents, as note judgment of India's medical education such as Jagdish Saran, Union of India, Neil Orino News, the Director of General Health and prioritizing the candidate more. So need for consideration. So constitute the Pradeep and the constitutions of bench. It means the down a rigid line undergraduate and healthcare landscape, been eliminating the domicile quotas right. Right, a more balanced approach would integrate these. The ruling reflect the well-intentioned but functional realities of public health. So if India aims to build a federal health sustainable health care system, the doctrine must evolve to accommodate the complex interplay between medical education, federalism and public health policy. Article is too big. So concluding this article here, moving to the next is the DeepSeek market distribution must awaken India. So a Chinese company has shaken the global tech industry and stock marketed with a low cost artificial intelligence. It's the breakthrough is the force critics to consider China position, and AI has formally financially trading essentially done to create a generative AI models. It's AI model. So the plainly China had advantages. So there is the DeepSeek innovations affects India's. The core of the DeepSeek success lies in the ability to overcome the limitation, expensive computational power, giving a significant cost advantages operation. So placing a China as an advantages is constitution power on its distribution is one reminiscent in India for dental DeepSeek success line ability to overcome the limitations, computational powers, distribution. So these are the what origination can learn from DeepSeek is the biggest lesson from DeepSeek offer here is that to develop Indian IT giants and power of the research and developer INRD rather optimizing workforce. Companies should foster an environment that has encouraged research, experimentation and tolerance for failure. So future priorities is like R&D investment, a critical factor for sustaining long-term economic competitiveness. It's a domestic expenditure. Domestic expenditure on R&D. According to UNESCO Institute of China invested 2.43% of its GDP and underscoring India needs urgent policy of intervention in boosting AI. One of the major policies that persistence debate over services complements. So India in the dominance IT is now the threat and workforce has enhances. The focus on the quantum technology also top priority is that India must ensure it does not fall behind the next major technological computing race. Advancement in quantum technology and crucial for maintaining. Moving to the next is it's about who will apologize to the Himalaya. So there's recently a Norway Parliament issued a formal apologies that targeting the Sami, Kivian and the forest Finn peoples, and these policies are known as Norwegianization. It's Norwegianization. Here's the it's a indigenous. In apology, the government proposed measures to address such ongoing discrimination, protecting the indigenous language, monitoring inclusion efforts, and starting in 2027. So, although the Norway has repealed the discriminatory law, established a symbolic right, and desert it semi-parliament challenges its semi-languages, group face equalities, healthcare, education, etc. So the Nordic Himalayas parallel is the Himalaya Community Share Regional Parallel. Himalaya spans 2,500 km from Afghanistan to northeast, and India's contains the world's largest iceberg after two poles. Like Nordic Himalayas continued communities faced a climate-induced disaster. The region is home for 52 million, and people from the various tribes, clans, ethnicities, religion include the Gaddis and Kinnoras in Himachal Pradesh, Lepcha and Bhutias, Mons in Sikkim. These are various tribes of their region. Just remember important slides. Questions can be asked. So it's a Kinroras in Himachal Pradesh, Lepchas in Bhutias, Mons in Sikkim, Ladakh, and diverse group on Rajasthan such as Abor, Akka, Aptani, Mishmi, the Khash, Kalash, and other ethnic groups such as Span, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal. So these communities have faced a wave assimilation through colonialism, post-independence during the British rule, accepting the colonial term trade. So according to the ASR, the foreign proceeding, an interesting result, blockade Graham revealed the culture suspended because he could procure the iron from the plants and manufacture. Likewise, in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, forest laws acted to ensure a regular supply of timber, lying the railway line, and demand and sell forest of Gharwal and Kumaon are example of failed even in desolation. So after India's independence, PM Jawaharlal Nehru, Mr. Nehru, for advocate tribal, pointed out that not sure for better living. So the humanistic approaches influenced the policies of about 15 years. However, the 5th and 6th 5-year plan, rapid source exploitations is made, and lessons from Norway. Here is a Norway apologies to the Sami people highlights the importance of acknowledging the historical injustices and exploitation of natural resources, and toward demand accountability and a shift in development, while Norway federal government is just taking a step toward justice. So next is about the work various of the hope. So here is basically the government health activist ASA. ASA, it's accredited social health activist. ASHA in Hindi means hope. In 2005, the center launched this national ruler. So 2005 it was launched. ASHA. Just know the full form also. For the central launch national ruler for nominated ASHAs to be linked between a community and public health care delivery system. So basically they are in for public health care delivery system rural areas. The ASHA is nominated there. So they now perform, today's there are millions of ASHA across country, and each one is firmly accounts the fulcrum of public health care. They now perform a full complement functions, record birth, death, implement interventions, non-communicable diseases, solve crucial profiles and global project. They were chosen for adolescents monitoring health hygiene. The COVID-19 pandemic health work trusted by community raised the profile significance contribution toward the recent PLS group public study established that likelihood of women access material services if they are connected to ASHA. It is 20 years after ASHA were credited. It's been a 20 year now. It was implemented 2005 and now it is 2025. So the protesting lies way in the designated the inceptions for measuring a fixed salary from the center, and rest of the compensations provided a creative shared. So ASA workers can make anything between 5,000 and 50,000 and in a month. And there is a in 2018 the government approved ASA benefit packages providing coverage. It's a coverage and frequently miss the old health need, and at a high time to government for make own fundamental health need too, as it is a hope is a warriors of hope and treats the asha as a permanent employees instead of volunteer to enable them at draw at adequate compensation in all means comparable. So benefits should be given by the government employees. So permanent body should be made, not just treated as a volunteer. Moving to the last slide. So a budget will pave a way for stronger workforce, Modi. So the budget will pave the workforce and growth economic, and while the budget webinar boosting the job. The three pillars is one, education, skill and health. Three key pillars here: education, education, skill and health. So national education policy, NAP, the expansion of IT's integration of technology, the use of for full potential digestion of text in 24-hour, and today's India's education system matching the 21st century. Industry read the youths, and he said the center had drawn a video till training to more 200, since 2000 3 crore youths from 2014, and in 1000 industrial trainings creates aims to training. So there is announcing of 10,000 additional budget medical seats and 75,000 medical seats next year. These are the promise on tourism also. Apart from industry and transport sector, there are opportunities for other ways. Health sector promoting the health tourism, grab this opportunity in the scope of education also. And the several lakh crore peoples of rupees, there is a move fast in this direction, and to promote the startups also started adding to a, it's a corpus of 1 lakh crore has been to promote research and innovations. These are the, so how the budget will become the stronger workforce. So these for all today. Let's have a summary and ending this session. Front page covering about the US will impose a reciprocal tariff on April 2. Trump, Zelensky is open to peace talk for mineral. Continuing to the same page from first. Third is about the retain existing LS seat for next 30 years. Parties and farmer from March to Chandigarh thwarted. And Cookie Zoo body opposes the civil society groups to march to hills. Fourth is covering the editorial about over-centralization threatens the federal health policy. Fifth is about the DeepSeek market disruptions must awaken this. Sixth is about who will apologize the Himalayans and warrior of hope. And seventh is about the budget will pave a way stronger workforce, Modi. So thank you. That's for today. Tomorrow we'll meet with a new editorial, new Hindu editorial. Till now, stay connected. Take care and thank you.